Hello YouTube, I'm going to do a video today about how to install an anti-roll bar on a Nissan Qashqai. This part arrived a few days ago from Europe Car Parts. Only about 12 hours delivery actually, so just a small little bar there to stop the car rolling over. I had a notification on my MOT last year that there was play in the roll bar and it's due in a month's time, so I'm going to fit that out today. First things first, obviously to remove the wheel or loosen the nuts. Always do this before you raise the car so you've got some sort of tension on the wheel. And I've had bad experience before with locking nuts. I'm always extra careful removing locking nuts so I don't strip them and have to remove them. So these wheels have dust covers on the nuts you need to remove. They're just plastic ones that remove pretty simply. Just pull off just there, so I'll do one for you. You can get tools to stop it getting marked, which I haven't got one, so I'm going to have to just deal with the damage if there is any. But there you go, it comes off pretty simply. Obviously if you use a tool like this you are going to get a little bit of damage on the sides. Now when jacking up a car, you always look for the strengthened area of the chassis, which is normally where these little marks are, just here. Just there. So what you do, you line it up. And I have this little tool here, it's just an aftermarket thing which prevents us getting damaged. So basically it will go on the frame just there and just stop damage really. It's just so that's in place now. And up we go. I bought this jack a little while ago. It's a 4-ton jack. It's probably a bit overkill. It must weigh 50 kilograms, but does the job. Because we're only removing the anti-roll bar, don't have to jack the car up too far. So once it's off the ground, I can now safely take the wheel off. I've loosened all these nuts already. Now this is my anti-roll bar here, and my MOT said play in the ball joint of the anti-roll bar on the front near side. Now if I give it a shake, there's nothing at all. So either it needs more tension or they've got the wrong side. I've done here, I've jacked up the wheel to replicate how it would look under the weight of the engine, and there's still no play at all. So I'm thinking they've got the wrong side. Okay, so I've just been to the garage to ask them why I wouldn't be able to feel any play if the MOT says there was play. They normally test it with the wheels on. Obviously you kind of get the real effect of the weight of the engine of the car. They said you'd never get play back and forward, you get it up and down. So I've come back under the car, and that's the noise I've been hearing, which is very slight play. So that will need replacing. Excessive play will be an MOT fail. Just to check the other side. This is the other side. So there's nothing at all, so there is slight play in that one, up and down. So now the wheel is off. If you give it a move, it doesn't really have any play, so it shows you have to have the wheel on and the weight of the engine to get that play. Now the biggest problem I find with these kind of jobs is just the nuts. They're either rusted on or they're too tight, so always best to give it a spray. For this we're using an 18mm socket. And when taking this nut off, it's not just a nut this side, there's a retaining nut on this side which you need to stabilise and isolate before this will turn out, otherwise it will just spin. So as expected, it's quite an easy job just removing those 2 nuts and replacing it, but they're completely fused on. I managed to get it probably 3/4 the way off and it's just got stuck. I'm covered in cuts and bangs. It's always the same way with these cars. Like in principle it's quite easy, but there'll be some sort of nut that rounds off or was rusted, welded on. I've tried everything I can, I just can't remove it. This one's just as tight and there's even not even much space to work there. So yes, again, I get to a certain level and then I have to take it to a garage, I think. There's an Allen key just there then? Yeah. So is that literally the reason why? That was not coming out because of that?
No, so the Allen key holds the threads.
Yeah.
So, because most cars won't have that flat head on the back.
Yeah.
But the Allen key or a Torx bit in there, you turn them together.
I don't remember. Have you put that in there? I don't remember seeing that. Like,
No, it's always been...
just like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, just it's greased up. Yeah, okay. So you put the Allen key in there
Yeah.
to hold it tight, and then you turn that?
Yeah.
So that's the same as holding the nut on the back?
Yeah.
Right, gotcha.
But as it's not...
Yeah, so I had a spanner on the back and it was slipping, but I don't know whether that's because of I was right underneath the car. Oh, that's a good tool, isn't it?
Do it this.
I'll be get one of them. So is that's just obviously to replace the spanner, yeah, more grips, yeah.
I'll do it this way. Because I take it you didn't clean the thread up when you...
No.
So all the rubbish that's been on the thread is now stuck
Right.
in the thread there. So you've got to try and... get it to move itself.
A lot of the time I spend as much money on the tools as it would do to get you guys to fix it. But I've got a D-Walt impact driver, would that be a different...
Be the same, enough.
I mean, mine's obviously for woodwork and building work, but do the same job?
Yeah.
So that's still you just trying to clear the threads
Yeah.
in and out. Gosh, really tight. You'd never cut that off, would you?
Well, I do, but if we
No.
get it undone, we won't cut it out.
Yeah.
You can see it's nearly up to the end.
Yeah, yeah.
But because it's still got some dirt on it.
Yes. There's literally no chance I could have done that by hand then.
If it was all clean.
But as you found it,
No.
the fact that I gave up and came here literally was impossible.
Yeah.
Good. Makes me feel better. So that one didn't need the two then?
It's still, you'll be able to turn the nut, but as soon as it starts to loosen the nut, it will start to turn the threads.
Right.
So all we're doing-
All off then. So that's obviously circular.
You just hold it.
And just grips it. Alright. What's copper slip? Just
Copper slip is just a lubricant, so like grease.
yeah.
Just stops all the rubbish still getting stuck to the threads.
Right, okay.
Makes it easier to get. All the ball joints are on the drop links or on any suspension arm.
Yeah.
They will come off. All it is a ball and socket.
Yeah.
So the end of that is got a ball in here,
Yeah.
and the socket is nice and tight. So like a shoulder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When it starts to knock, all it is the outer bit, the cup, is
Yeah.
worn,
Right.
allowing that to move in and out.
Yeah.
Have a bit of extra free play.
Yeah, because only a little bit, and I could only feel it when the car was under its own weight. When I took it up, I couldn't feel it at all.
You won't feel much yet.
Yeah.
You feel.
It was a little, but I could hear it.
Yeah, if you feel that there,
Yeah.
just tap it slightly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you feel that play with that one.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah.
So that'd be all it is. Literally, the ball is worn away the cup.
And there's a degree of that where it's suddenly a fail. Because they just gave me a warning about it last time.
If it's got a tiny amount,
yeah,
it's just an advisory. If it's absolutely hanging like that, or broken.
So that probably would have been okay this time, but it's on its way out.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, but needs replacing anyway. So, all right, cool.
The actual ball and socket.
Yeah.
Half the time you won't need anything to hold it to tighten up.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially with a bit of grease on the threads.
Yeah.
It'll go down a bit nicer.
Yeah. So if that hadn't kind of furred up with the rust, you wouldn't even need the mole grips on the back. You just have an Allen key, hold the threads.
Allen key and just go like that.
Right.
Okay, that way.
So I didn't record then. Yeah.
So the computer needs to actually disengage inside here to say, oh,
to pull the caliper back.
It's going to be pushed back.
Yeah.
To replace the brake pads.
Because normally you could just do it with like a spanner or a screwdriver or something, couldn't you? Push the caliper back.
No.
You do on bikes, but I'm not sure about cars.
Bikes. With these, you'll need a wind back tool.
Right.
But with these, you need to tell them that you're going to be replacing the pads, and then it'll put the actual motor inside all the way back to allow the piston to be pushed back.
Because if you're forcing it, it's going to damage it.
Yes.
So in the front ones, would I need a wind back tool for that as well?
Front ones, no. Just a screwdriver or a big set of grips to push them back.
Gotcha.
But these, you need a wind back tool because they have 4 pins, which have got to be turned simultaneously to then move back.
All right, cool. Oh, I'll book that in then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for watching there. I think it's really important to show the mistakes and the things that go wrong in these jobs. I watched a video on YouTube how to do this and it all went perfectly. There was no stuck nuts. So I went into this thinking it'd be the same and it wasn't. But I generally think you learn more through the things that go wrong and the mistakes. And halfway through this job, I was just thinking, why do I do this to myself? Why have I got to a position where I've kind of almost made the car undrivable? But obviously, I've managed to get the right advice. I've actually learned quite a lot. And I think, learned a lot more through the mistakes. A massive shout out to Delisle's. I went round there, gave me some advice, went back round again, and they saw me within 10 minutes. As you can see, only charged me £19 for 15 minutes work. And they tutored me about how to fix it in the future and let me video. So I made sure the 2 guys that served me had enough money for a bit of a beer each on me. And I really appreciate their help. Gave me some advice about how I wouldn't be able to change the rear disc pads, which I need to do for my MOT as well, because this has got an electronic brake. So you need to tell the computer to wind the pistons in itself, and then a wind-in tool for the pistons. Essentially, it's not a job I can do myself, so I've booked it in for an MOT for that. But yeah, all in all, although it didn't go very well for me this morning, I've learned a lot. I'm quite pleased with the end result. So thank you, Delisle's, and see you for the next video. If any of you are looking for mechanics in the Hertfordshire, Berkhamsted area, I definitely recommend Delisle's. Such a happy, friendly service. Happy to give you advice. And as you can see there, great prices, really friendly staff. So definitely recommend them if you need anything doing at all. Thanks Delisle's and thanks for watching.